Hello guys, this is Nashdev and here is the first episode of Bowerwhelm's Devlog. I wanna share every step of development with you, from game design to publishing on Steam. So let me tell you guys how I started first. After playing straight 40 hours of Vampire Survivors, I thought that making a roguelike game should be easy peasy. You're just making plane, putting a player on it, making like 30 unique skills and adding enemies and boom, here is your fucking roguelike. Well, that was the plan, but you know, this is not how game development works. So I decided to make an FPS roguelike game since I ruined my life playing Counter-Strike. But that's not the point today, so let's carry on game design. Well, I was inspired too much by BB10. BB10 is a mobile game where you shoot balls to break squares and it's really fun. So let's analyze their game in simple terms and try to find out what makes BB10 fun to play. Every ball hitting squares deals damage, and actually squares are numbers. So we can basically say numbers are enemies. Every time you collect a ball, you will shoot one more ball in next shot, and this is the only thing to make yourself powerful in this game. And there is no secondary or tertiary attack, you just have your basic attacks. So we will focus on basic attacks and make them stronger while playing. The last one I noticed is the sound effects. Do you hear that intense, satisfying sound effects coming from popping balls? This is pure satisfaction. Since I decided to make my game in shooter genre, I have to choose a weapon to use in game. So let's talk about weapons a bit and think about how it's going to fit in my game. Roguelike games are mostly skill-based games, and because of that I have to choose a weapon that is difficult to shot. Should I choose classic guns? No, the bullet goes straight and it is not skill-based. That's why real men use bows. And here is the result. We just made a plane and put a player on it. We will make enemies as a basic sphere with numbers on it, so numbers are enemies. And we will shoot with bow basically, so real men use bows. And we're gonna add skills only strengthens our basic attacks, so we actually focused on basic attacks. And don't forget intense, satisfying sound effects. And let's go! We're gonna make FPS bow shooting roguelike game. So let's start with the basic FPS controller. I'm not gonna show how I coded the entire FPS controller from scratch, and believe me or not, it was too hard to make. But trust me guys, it's 100% my code. We got nice FPS controls here. We can walk around, we can jump, we can look around, we can go wherever we like. And as you see, we have something playable, and that was the first goal. Before diving into shooting mechanic code, I made a simple bow in Blender 3D and set the blend shape so a player can draw the bow. It's not the world's best bow, but it's looking kinda bow, so that's the point. And wrote some code in Visual Studio that makes bow shoot. Okay, now we have classic bow shooting game. We can walk, we can jump, and better than that, we can shoot arrows. And all we need is enemies right now. Since I was inspired too much by BB10, numbers will be our enemies. So there is no need to work on fancy graphics for it. Instead, I'll just use Unity's primitive sphere to be our enemy. I'm gonna make its color red, since red is the highest frequency color, so people can focus on enemies easily. It's a matter of color theory, but we will talk about it later. Numbers need to be shown in enemies like BB10 squares. I added numbers, but we couldn't see them from every angle. So I wrote a code that makes numbers always look at the camera. Okay, let's play it. It looks perfect, but we need arrows now. I made a simple arrow in Blender 3D and this is how it looks like. It's time to make them alive. I made a health system for enemies so we can kill them with arrows, and added hit indicator to crosshair like in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and added some sound effects. Now you feel even more successful when you hit the enemy. And also I made an experience capsule. Enemies will drop this capsule when they're killed. We will collect them to level up. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed the content, you can subscribe to the channel. See you in next devlog.